All right, in this segment, we're going to dial it back a little bit so that we can really just get a little bit of foundational knowledge about how artificial intelligence even came about. Now, if you think AI started with ChatGPT or self driving cars, you're not alone. But you'd actually be wrong. In fact, AI is likely older than your grandmother. Long before today's headlines about robots and digital assistants, computer scientists were already laying the groundwork for machine thinking in the 1950s. Some of the core ideas behind AI even date back to the 1800s. The story of AI is one of incredible ambition, big setbacks, and even bigger breakthroughs. And understanding that story helps us better prepare for the AI powered future. So let's take a walk through AI's fascinating timeline, but in plain language. So the first big question was in the 1940s and 50s, can machines think? The modern history of AI begins with a single question: can machines think? And British mathematician Alan Turing asked this in a 1950 paper that's still widely cited today. Turing helped crack the Nazi codes during World War II, but he also laid the foundation for how we think about machine intelligence. Turing proposed the now famous Turing test, where a computer tries to fool a human into thinking it's human. And if it can, it's considered intelligent. This was the spark that ignited the field of artificial intelligence. Around the same time, scientists began experimenting with simple computer programs that could simulate brain like behavior. One of the earliest was the perceptron, created in 1958, a basic version of the neural networks used in today's AI. During the 1960s and 70s was really kind of the early boom and bust. Researchers were excited about AI's potential. Computers were still room-sized machines, but people believed that human-level intelligence was just around the corner. One standout from this era was Eliza, a chatbot created in 1966 that mimicked a psychotherapist by rephrasing your statements as questions. It was simple but shockingly effective, and some people even thought it was a real therapist. But as researchers ran into the limitations of the technology, like how hard it was for machines to understand language or deal with the real world, funding dried up. These setbacks led to the first AI winter, a period where people just lost interest and the money stopped flowing. But there was really still a slow, steady grind through the 1980s to the 90s. AI never really fully died, but progress slowed, and then researchers just kept working behind the scenes, building expert systems that used rules to solve specific problems, like diagnosing disease or analyzing oil reserves. Meanwhile, computers got faster and algorithms improved. A major milestone came in 1997 when IBM's Deep Blue beat world chess champion Garry Kasparov. It was a reminder that even if AI couldn't think like humans, it could outsmart us in certain domains. Now, still for most people, AI felt like a broken promise. It wasn't in your pocket and it didn't really look anything like. Now, in around the 2000s to the science fiction 10s, there was what we call the data explosion that changes everything. The internet came, smartphones, and the rise of big data. Suddenly, there was a massive amount of information to feed into machines and computers that were powerful enough to handle it. This gave new life to machine learning, a method where algorithms learn from examples instead of being explicitly programmed. The old perceptron idea came back in a big way with deep learning, which stacked layers of neurons into powerful networks that could recognize speech, translate languages, or even identify faces. AI started showing up everywhere: Siri, Google Translate, Netflix recommendations, even spam filters in emails. For the first time, AI was part of everyday life and often without people even realizing it. Now we're in this era of this huge generative leap. Today's AI feels different because one of the big reasons, generative models, instead of just using it to recognize things, AI can now create things, texts, text copy, images, music, video, and even code. Tools like ChatGPT, DALL-E, and Midjourney have blown the doors open on what AI can do. They can write emails, paint pictures, summarize legal contracts, or draft marketing copy in just seconds. But with this leap forward comes serious concerns. Things like bias, misinformation, job loss, privacy, copyright. These are all suddenly parts of the conversation, and rightfully so. The power of today's AI is jaw dropping, but so are the risks if we don't use it properly and responsibly. So, this history matters, right? Because understanding this history of AI isn't just trivia, it teaches us a few key lessons. AI is not a fad, it's risen, fallen, and risen again over the generations. And each wave builds on the last. Today's breakthroughs stand on decades of quiet research. Hype and fear are nothing new. Every era has had its people overpromising and then also underestimating risks. But we all have a role to play. Whether you're using AI at work or choosing not to, history shows that how we use these tools matters as much as the tools themselves. So now we go from curiosity to caution to confidence. AI has come a long way from the chalkboards of the 1950s math professors to the chatbots in your pocket today. It's no longer something just for researchers. It's now something we all interact with, whether we know it or not. And just like any powerful tool, understanding its origins helps us use it wisely. AI might be older than your grandmother, but its future, that's still being written by all of us. Thank you for choosing Mila Training, your partner in privacy and cybersecurity education. Remember, protecting your dental practice doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. Our bite sized, affordable courses are here to help you and your team build lasting skills that keep your patients' information secure and your technology running smoothly. Reach out to us today to explore training options tailored to your specific needs and industry. Together, we can safeguard your practice and your patients, one simple step at a time. Visit us now and take the next step in securing your practice with confidence.